Hello and welcome. Today I'm going to talk about Rome 2 Total War and agents and victory types in Rome 2 Total War. So we've been told that there'll be three different agent types: the champion, the spy and the dignitary. From what I've seen, the champion will kind of be very similar to the foreign veteran in Shogun 2 Fall of the Samurai. For those of you that don't play or that haven't got Fall of the Samurai, this agent could train troops, challenge leaders to duels, and that would kill them or injure them, and they can also supervise troop training. The spy will be a combination of a scout, which will find out about enemy units and armies, and I presume when you embed it into an army it will increase the range of sight or movement speed. An assassin role will be killing other agents like commanders and probably sabotaging buildings, but that might be the spy. So the Frumentari was the Roman equivalent of MI6, so a secret service. Their main jobs were to be attached to different legions to help the army attain supplies and navigate for them. And at the same time they would watch over the leaders of the armies to make sure they were honourable and loyal to Rome, and that they weren't like planning anything like a rebellion or... So maybe you can embed them into an army and that will increase movement speed, but it will also increase the general's loyalty at the same time. We'll see how that works. Now the dignitary, many people got excited about it because there was always the idea that this could be the return of the diplomat from all games that were prior to Empire Total War. We know now that such will not be the case because the player is free to open the diplomacy panel whenever they wish. Then what is the dignitary used for? I think this character will be really useful. My theory is that over time he converts provinces to your culture. So put it into this perspective, a dignitary fully converts a barbarian tribe's region into Latin or Roman. Now a region of Latin people, would they want barbarian leaders? No, so they revolt, and I'm thinking if they win the revolt they might actually join your faction. I'm not sure, but we'll see how that happens. Now this could be really clever and grand, but you will have to convert regions you take over by force, so you're not on the bad end of the revolution, if you see what I'm saying. I think this character will be the equivalent of a missionary or monk in Shogun 2, but obviously with culture instead of religion. All of the agents will vary depending on what faction you play as, so if you're playing as Rome you might have a spy, if you're playing as Athens, a scout, and if you're playing as the Suebi, the German tribe, an assassin. This is really to add replayability and also to sort of give flavour and selection to each faction, so you can have a different experience each time you play. Now, in all previous Total War games, the victory conditions have just been short, long domination. And that just depends on the amount of provinces you have. That's the only thing that matters. And you can also have a prestige victory in Empire and possibly Napoleon, and that kind of was like technology and stuff like that, but it wasn't really clear what that was. So now we have three different types. We have military and economic. And the last type they haven't really looked over, so I'm thinking it's kind of diplomatic or cultural, but we'll see. So the military victory will require you to maintain a certain number of troops, and also all of the provinces will require you to have a certain number of provinces. The economic, you have to maintain a number of trade relations and hold a certain amount of resources. Diplomatic or cultural victory, I think if it's diplomatic it will be you have to have a certain number of vassals or allies. If it's cultural, maybe you have to have a certain amount of provinces that are part of your culture. We'll have to see. All of them will like have different numbers depending on which faction you play as. So for example, Carthage will have a bigger navy, so they want you to have more naval troops if you're doing military victory. Rome, you might have to have more heavy infantry. All of them require you to have a certain number of provinces and a certain amount of gold. Obviously if it's economic you want more gold, if it's military you have to have more provinces. We'll have to wait and see. In each win you have to have up to 15 technologies in the category that kind of suits the area. So if you're doing military you need 15 military sort of technologies. So thanks for watching. It's been Empire Total War in the background on one of the ship battles, I think it is. It's in the scenarios section of the battles. It was pretty easy, but there we go. See you next time, guys. Thank you for watching.